All right, finally, today I get to do something that's a little bit different. It's finally spring. It's raining, which seems about right. So here's what I'm going to be doing today. We bought a pool March of 2020. We received the pool November of 2020. We got the pool put in the beginning of May, the very end of April, beginning of May, something like that, right around that time. So now I have to build a deck for said pool. The pool's in. Here's the picture. The pool's filled. Same picture. And what else did I do? Oh, French drain is already in. And retaining wall is in. So I didn't film any of that, especially the pool, because I didn't actually put the pool in. Finally got to pay somebody else to do something. It was great. I got to sit inside. It was awesome. But now we got to build a deck. It is currently May 16th of 2021. And wood prices for a 2x4 are like 140% higher than what they were beforehand. I'm not sure on the exact percentage, don't quote me on that, but wood is very, very expensive. Fortunately, I have a cousin who does junk removal, and I got that. It's a lot of wood. It's a whole lot of wood. It looks a little bit rough, but most of the boards, as far as the middle section of the boards, they look pretty good. So there's one thing I've always enjoyed doing, like woodworking stuff, but I don't have certain equipment. I do have like a little hand planer. It is an electric hand planer, and it works pretty good when you plane about that much of the wood at a time. So I've always wanted to get a bigger planer. I got a bigger planer. It's that one. It's this one right here. That's it. Not that. That's a shop vac. It's this. This one right here. So I get to go through and plane all the wood, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to, but I'm going to pretend like it's going to be a super daunting task. So you might hear some noise in the background too. We've got chickens. We had 7. That number was decreased by 3 thanks to what we believe is a fox. I have shot at the fox. I think I hit the fox. I'm not sure. I didn't go in the woods looking for it because I really don't care. I'll just shoot at him again. So we're going to have to redo our chicken coop. We like our chickens to run free range. But there's some little baby chickies in there. We had to replace the ones that we lost. So we lost 3. We currently have 4. And then you have to buy them in batches of 6. Which, that seems about right. Why can't I buy 2? I don't know. Those are their rules. But, so, it's raining today, so I figured this would be a good day to get to use said planer. It's not raining though. Alright, so part 2, or 3 or 7 or 12. So, I've got it set up, and I went ahead and made a couple of test passes with a board that I guarantee I'm not going to use this board. But, I can show you. These two are about the same. This right here, this was it. This was one pass through there. So you can see the difference. I mean, it almost looks like a brand new piece of wood. There's still a little bit of green moss. I don't know. But there's still a little bit of that moss that was growing underneath of there. This is the back side of the board. Like this doesn't look bad, but this one, the cracks in here are just really, really deep. I did send it through, just making sure it was going to pull this paint off and everything okay, which I figured it would. But, say both of these are about the same, where I'm probably not going to end up using these. I was just trying to get it set up. So, it is set up now. There's a lot of wood to cut through. The setup was pretty easy. if I'm being honest. I mean, it was basically just there was nothing really to do. You pull it out of the box. You got to put a screw on, no pun intended, on shoving bores through here because they kind of roll through because the blades go like this. So the blades actually do all the work of pulling them all through, and hopefully I can start making a dent into that, or do all of it. I don't know. I'm not going to do anything else today. I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to try to relax and clean. All right. So I'm going to get this thing reset up. Like I said, I am going to have a headset on. It's not ultra loud, but it's loud enough to where it's annoying enough to where it's just going to be a lot better to have a headset on in the long run, I think. So you're not going to hear that like high pitched, all the time. Just I don't want to hear it for the rest of the day. Basically what I'm getting at. So I'm going to get this thing set up and I'm going to get going. So I don't know, cross your fingers. Dusty in here now. Blast. So you can kind of see that's how much dust this thing made. Not just that. A little bit there. That one's full. That one's full. that was uncalled for. It's dusty. But here's the final outcome. I guess somewhat final. I ended up just doing the back side. What was originally the back, so the underside of whichever deck that this came off of, or porch, or whatever you want to call it. I just ended up doing the bottom side. So the way the boards are generally cupped, you've got one side that's kind of, kind of a rainbow shape. Well, if you flip it over, it would be more of like a horseshoe shape. So you put that side down. Man, there's dust everywhere. I can't breathe. But, so I just ended up doing the bottom side because there was no stain or whatever on top or on the bottom side. And my thought process was, because I figured, because they use like a paint stain or something, and I figured that might end up getting in here and clogging this bad boy up at some point, which it is. There was a nail. I don't know if you can see that. There was a nail, so I'm gonna have to sand that down a little bit. I did run across a few nails, and a couple of them went through, but they were just real tiny, and these nails were pretty brittle anyway. So from the start too, not this over here, because that was here whenever I started. So I'm still going to go through some of that and decide whatever I'm going to keep, which probably won't be too much of it because it is just small stuff. But this is the stuff right here that I decided not to keep. And so there's multiple reasons for some of it. Some of it was just too cracked and crinkly or whatever. But then some of it had, like this side right here, it had a nail in it. So that was, this side was the end, the 45-degree thingy. So I messed around with trying to cut the nails off at one point. Should you keep it quiet back there? I did try to, not cut the nails off. I tried just to knock the nails out, and it just wasn't. Like I said, the nails were brittle, so it was rough getting them out. And I just kind of thought, I've got the option, because there's so much wood, that if I have to cut some or make some sacrifices, that'll be just fine. That's more than what I'm going to need. So once I'm completely done with what I'm using it for, which, like I said, is a deck for the pool. Once I'm completely done with all of that, whatever's left, I may run it back through the planer and get all the paint stain, whatever that stuff is that's on there, and just make them like real nice pieces of wood. And then I may just try to sell them because wood's so expensive. It's just ridiculous. So, but I'm gonna wait. Like I said, I'm gonna wait till I do my stuff because that's more important to me. I mean, I could probably sell all of this and get enough to buy more wood for a deck, but that's just silly. But it did give me a planer. The stuff, quite honestly, I walk back over here. It is like really dusty in here. It's not allergies. It's not allergies. Is there like dirt everywhere? Can you see me? Okay. Anyway, the stuff legitimately did come out quite a bit better than what I even thought it was going to come out. And all of this was, almost every bit of it was just single pass. And I mean, there's still some too, like this board here where you can see where it's split and how far down it comes. Well, I just didn't cut that, but obviously whenever I go to build the deck, I'm just going to zip it off right there, or however far down that I'm going to need it. Because I'm going to need different shapes and whatever. So, and I mean, I know that they got holes and stuff in them from the previous owner's nails. I'm probably going to be using screws. If I can't make them line up, then I'm just going to sand it down anyway. And I may put a little bit of wood filler in there because we're going to be able to stain the deck pretty quickly because we don't have to allow it to weather for a year. So we should be able to stain the deck, I mean, pretty much as soon as we get it up, because this is old wood and we don't have to, you don't have to wait that long to stain it. But I think I'm pretty much done. Well, I got it clean. That's going to take 6 days. But I think I'm pretty much done. I think I'm going to have to move the wood back over to the other side and clean up all that stuff up there. So, you guys got any questions? Like I said, the Dewalt was great. It turned out really good. I did look at another thing too. I did look at the Bauer one at Harbor Freight, and it was just kind of the same thing where, and it probably would have been fine. The Craftsman one, same thing, probably would have been fine. But I feel like the longevity, if I can spit it out, the longevity of the Dewalt is going to be a lot greater than what either one of those other two products would have been. I mean, I can tell you, like, it was, I mean, it ran for, it took me 3 hours to do this, 3.5 hours, and it pretty much ran for 3.5 hours. I kicked it off a couple of times, but no more than like a minute, each time. So it pretty much ran solid the entire time. And the engine's not like boiling super hot or anything like that. It's warm, but it's not hot. I mean, you can touch it. So I did like it. I'm glad I've got it. I've got other woods, and I'll be able to do many other projects because of this. I wish I would have had one of these years ago, but they're expensive. This one was $450, so they're expensive. So I will put a link to this Dewalt one down in the description, because there's another Dewalt one where you can get like half of an inch bigger wood in there, like up to like 13-inch wood, and it's an extra $100 too. I do think the motor is a little bit more high powered than this one, but it's nice and cool. If you guys got any other questions about the DeWalt, just let me know down below, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. I am not an expert, but I have run about, 1,000 board feet through it. So thanks for watching.